Hello, I'm Jane Clarke, and this is my story, Nighttime, illustrated by Jane Massey. But before I read it, I'd just like to say a little bit about how I wrote it, because some people say to me, Jane, how do you make your books? And I say, I can't make books like this. Books like these are made by publishers, and publishers have factories and they can make wonderful books that come out in bookshops. The sort of book I make looks like this, and you would not want to buy it. This is the first edition of Nighttime, and I'm not an illustrator. Jane Massey is a very clever illustrator. I am not. I see pictures in my head, but I cannot get them down on paper. So in my book, it's all very scribbly, but I know what's going on. I know what the flaps are happening. I know that when there's a very exciting moment in a dark forest, that there are little knights and little dragons and big knights and big dragons in there, and there's a flash of lightning. But all I've done is made the page go dark with a bit of dark blue wrapping paper, and I put a zigzag in for the lightning. So I know how my story works, but nobody else would really know how the story works. I'm sure you could make your own storybook, which is a lot better than this. But for a book like this, you need a very clever person called an illustrator, and it goes through lots of stages. So my words all get changed, and then the illustrator will do a black and white rough, which is very cleverly in pencil. This is Jane Massey's black and white rough from Nighttime, and you can see it's just pages stuck into a blank book, but you can also see that she is a proper illustrator. And here is the page shaping up where they're in the forest with that flash of lightning. So here is my story, the finished story, the published story, called Nighttime, and it is the same book as I wrote, but much, much better. In the time of the nights, it was night time again. You can see this is the castle where the knights live, and this is the cave down here when the dragons live, and they don't like each other. They don't understand each other, and they don't like each other very much. But they are quite the same in a way, because look, little knight and little dragon were getting ready for bed. So you can see both of them are cleaning their teeth, and both of them are having a bath. Their daddies read them a story, tucked them into bed, and kissed them good night. So those are their daddies reading their nighttime stories. And then their daddies went out. It was a night for nightmares and things that go bump in the night. Little Knight was sure a dragon was going to get him. And little dragon was sure a knight was going to get him. Their rooms were full of scary shadows. I want my daddy, they cried. But their daddies were in the forest, so they ran out the castle and the cave to see them. And the forest was very dark and very, very scary. You see there are little creatures peeping through the pages. There they were. So they're in the forest, little knight and little dragon, and they're very scared. Will their daddies hear their cries? Will their daddies come and save them? Yes, their daddies held them tight, but hold on. Do knights have scales? Do dragons have armour? They jumped into the wrong daddy's arms. Please don't eat me, little knight and little dragon cried at the very same time. I don't eat knights, said Daddy Dragon. And I don't eat dragons, said Daddy Knight. Then why do dragons hunt knights and knights hunt dragons? The little ones asked. Because they're very scary, said the daddies at the very same time. Little Knight looked at Little Dragon's teddy bear and blanket. You're not that scary, he said. Little Dragon looked at Little Knight's teddy bear and blanket. You're not that scary either, he said. Then it's silly to hunt each other, Little Knight and Little Dragon told their daddies. But we always hunt each other at this time of night, their daddies wailed. Whatever are we going to do? You could try to be friends, said Little Knight and Little Dragon, like us. So from then on, the time of the nights was a lot more fun. You can see them, if I hold it a little bit closer, you can see them on a swing and having a picnic together and playing together and having meals together, having a lovely time together. And night time was lovely and peaceful. You see what Little Knight's dreaming of? Playing with Little Dragon. And what Little Dragon's dreaming of? Playing with Little Knight. There we go. Sweet dreams, everyone. Good night.